After the birth of Jesus, Mary and Joseph took their infant son back to the city of Nazareth, where Jesus continued to grow in wisdom and stature. Clearly, the Spirit of God was upon him because, even as a child, he showed great wisdom and a hunger for the knowledge of his Father God. Every year, Mary and Joseph would travel on foot with a large group of Jewish believers to the city of Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover in the temple. The Passover was a time for the Jews to celebrate the Israelites' deliverance from slavery and bondage in Egypt. When Jesus was 12 years old, he was allowed to join the yearly trip to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover with his parents. It was a very long and tiring journey for Jesus and his family, as Jerusalem was nearly 90 miles from their home in Nazareth. But for Jesus, this was a long-awaited opportunity to learn more about his Father God. When the caravan arrived in Jerusalem, there were huge numbers of God's people, the Israelites, entering the city as well. All were there to celebrate God's great love and mercy during the Passover. Excitement filled the city as the Jewish people came to the temple. Each day, families would join many others to feast and attend the ceremonies and teachings of the priests in remembrance of God's mighty works. At the end of the 7 days of Passover, Mary and Joseph joined the rest of the people in the caravan for the long trip home. They both assumed Jesus was among their friends and relatives, and after a full day of traveling, they began looking for him, and he was nowhere to be found. They quickly returned to Jerusalem and looked for him for 3 days. Finally, they found Jesus in the temple, sitting among the teachers and priests, listening to them and asking them questions. All who heard Jesus were amazed at his understanding and answers, and when his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said, "Son, why have you done this to us? We've been anxiously looking for you." But Jesus answered, "Why were you looking for me? Didn't you know I had to be in my Father's house?" His parents did not understand why he said this, but Mary treasured all these things in her heart. As Jesus grew, he continued to increase in wisdom and favor with God and men.